What's up, fight fans? Welcome back to KO with Kyle. I'm your host, Kyle. Today we'll be doing a recap of the UFC Fight Night Holm versus Irene Aldana. We will go over all the fights on the main card and the prelims. It was another great night of fights, so without any further ado, let's get into it. Starting off the main card was Dequan Townsend versus Dusko Todorovic. At middleweight, Dusko was throwing heavy shots, but Dequan was jabbing with a reach advantage. In round 2, Dusko gets a takedown, gets into mount, and finishes the fight by TKO. I picked Todorovic in Kyle's fight picks, so I was glad to see him get the win. Next at Bantamweight, we had Phillips versus Cameron Else. Phillips had the wrestling advantage as he got a takedown round 1, and then in round 2, Phillips gets another takedown, gets into mount, and finishes by TKO. Phillips looked great in this fight. Look forward to seeing him again soon. Next at women's bantamweight, we had Germaine Randamie versus Julianna Pena. In round 1, Pena was pressing forward, but Randamie was landing heavier shots. In round 2, Pena gets a takedown. At the end of round 2, Randamie almost gets a submission. And in round 3, Pena was going for another takedown, and Randamie locks in a guillotine choke. She choked Pena unconscious before the ref intervened. I picked Randamie in Kyle's fight picks, and I was 2 for 2 at that point. In the co-main event, we had Yorgan Castro versus Felipe at heavyweight. Round 1 stayed on the feet, but there was more output from Felipe. In rounds 2 and 3, Felipe continued to outwork Castro, chasing him down while avoiding damage. The judges scored it a unanimous decision win for Felipe. That made Kyle's fight picks 3 for 3. In the main event, we had Holm versus Irene Aldana at women's bantamweight. Aldana was never able to get close in boxing range as Holm was able to keep her away with side kicks. In round 1, Holm gets a takedown, and that will continue to be the story as Holm secures a takedown in all 5 rounds. In round 3, Holm was briefly in the mount, dealing damage, and Holm always seems prepared for a 5-round fight. She had plenty of endurance. After the takedown in round 5, Holm finishes the fight, throwing blows all the way until the end. The judges scored it a unanimous decision win for Holm. Holm winning made Kyle's fight picks 4 for 4 on the night, and I made my career highest 12.4 units on this card. I would love to see Germaine Randamie versus Holm at bantamweight, or a title shot for either one. It was an impressive night of fights for the old guard at women's bantamweight. Quickly going over the prelims, we had Luigi Vendramini versus Jessin Ayari at lightweight. Round 1, Vendramini lands a counter left hook that rocks Ayari. He followed with a head kick for the KO. Next at bantamweight, we had Kenney versus Alateng Heili. Kenney threw non-stop kicks to the body and to the head. He stalked him and he landed at will. Alateng Heili was basically a punching bag, and his ribs were badly bruised from kicks. Judges scored it a unanimous decision win for Kenney. Next at strawweight, we had Jinh Frey versus Loma Lookboonme. Lookboonme outstruck Frey and landed lots of kicks and elbows. The judges scored it a unanimous decision win for Lookboonme. Next at middleweight, we had Jordan Williams versus Nassourdine Imavov. They clashed heads early, which cut both fighters. In rounds 2 and 3, Imavov picked it up and won a unanimous decision win. Next at featherweight, we had Charles Jourdain versus Josh Culibao. It was pretty close. It was a back and forth fight. It went to decision, and it was a majority draw. Finally, at welterweight, we had the return of Condit versus Court McGee. Lots of kicks from both fighters. There was a knockdown from Condit at the end of round 1. More output from Condit in round 2, and a close round 3. and the judges scored it a unanimous decision win for Carlos Condit. In who won from the prelims, we have Luigi, Vendramini, Kenney, Loma, Lookboonme, Nassourdine, Imavov, and Carlos Condit. In the main card, the winners were Dusko, Todorovic, Phillips, Germaine Randamie, Carlos Felipe, and Holm. I have a fight spotlight out for the next main event, which is Corey Sandhagen versus Marlon Moraes. I will have a full forecast out soon, so subscribe so you never miss an episode. And until next time, fight fans, peace.